when I finish, we're going to, let's start with the structure. You're scanning the poem. What do you see? Yes? Lines are about equal length. What else do you see when we scan it? What are we looking for? We're not reading words right now, we're just looking. What else do we see? Hunter?
4 parts.
There's 4 parts. What are those parts called? Stanzas. I've got 4 stanzas about equal length. What else do you see? 4 lines in a stanza for a total of how many lines? 16. Okay, is it a sonnet? No. A sonnet has how many lines? 14. Okay, what else do you notice when you look at this? Not reading the words, but looking at letters, and it has punctuation. What else does it have? Capitalization. All right, so looking at this poem right now, would you say this is a traditional poem or an organic poem? Traditional. Not having read a word, you guys have done scansion. Okay, you went through, you looked at it, and you're correct. Okay, now we can read. And after we're done reading, we'll go back and look at syllables, we'll look at rhyme and rhyme scheme as well. Good? The whiskey on your breath could make a small boy dizzy, but I hung on like death. Such waltzing was not easy. We romped until the pans slid from the kitchen shelf. My mother's countenance could not unfrown itself. The hand that held my wrist was battered on one knuckle. At every step you missed, my right ear scraped a buckle. You beat time on my head with a palm cake hard by dirt, then waltzed me off to bed, still clinging to your shirt. Is there a beat? Could you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a rhyme scheme?
Yeah.
Some of you are shaking kinda. The answer is yes. Okay, so let's do the rhyme scheme of the first stanza. So I'd like you to put the letters next to the first 4 lines. What's the rhyme scheme of the first stanza? Does breath rhyme with dizzy?
No.
So breath gets what after it? An A. Then dizzy doesn't rhyme with it, so it gets a what?
A B.
Does death rhyme with breath?
Yes.
So what's death get?
A.
Does easy rhyme with dizzy? Yes, kind of. So it goes A, B, A, B. Okay, when you're doing multiple stanzas, you'll switch letters too. So now we're starting with C. Does pans rhyme with death or dizzy? So it's C. Does shelf rhyme with breath, dizzy, or pans? No. Does countenance rhyme with countenance, pans? Ooh, that's a rough one. Okay. And itself rhyme with shelf. So it would go C, D, C, D, with some really stretched rhymes there. Okay, the third stanza is much easier. Does wrist rhyme with knuckle?
No.
Does mist rhyme with wrist? Does knuckle rhyme with buckle? Okay, so if we're going A, B, then C, D, this is now E, F, E, F. Good? Okay, do you understand how we're doing that? Okay, number of syllables in the first line. Hands up. The
Whiskey on your breath
6 could
make a small boy dizzy,
7 but
I hung on like death.
6 such
waltzing was not easy.
is our pattern. 6, 7, 6, 7. Good. Okay, so everything that we've learned about traditional poetry, does this follow that so far?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. What's the definition of a lyric poem? Jay?
It's talking about the speaker's personal life and thoughts.
Correct. Does this poem talk about the speaker's personal life or thoughts? Okay, is this a young speaker, an old speaker?
Young.
Young speaker. Okay. Is it a young person who wrote the poem?
No.
So if it's not a 12-year-old writing the poem, or however this is, 7-year-old writing the poem, okay, it's somebody older. So what are they able to do if they're older writing about a poem? Advanced vocabulary, countenance, That was not in my vocabulary at age 7. Correct? Okay, next. What's this poem about? He was abused, right? So now we just have to find evidence of him being abused. I'm not smiling because he got abused, that'd be creepy, guys. I'm smiling for another reason. But let's find evidence of this young child being abused. Yes, Kelsey, go.
Line 12.
Line 12 says, my right ear scraped a buckle.
Line 13.
Line 13 says, you beat time on my head. These are all violent hate words, aren't they?
Yeah.
Scraped and beat. Jay,
Was battered on one knuckle.
yeah, but whose knuckle?
Yeah, it was the dad's.
Okay, so he battered his knuckles. Another hate word. Sounds aggressive. What else we got? First line. So dad's drunk. Obviously he's beating his child, right? The child is scared to death of his father, right? Last line proves you wrong.
He's hanging on to his dad.
Why is he hanging on to his dad if he hates him?
His dad. Like, you never really, I mean, you could hate your dad, but.
If he's beating you, you probably wouldn't have a, you wouldn't be hanging on to him if he's currently beating you.
You're right, or every step you missed, if it's talking about the waltz,
Mm-hmm.
then if you missed a step and his head would move and his ear would hit the
Oh, you mean he wasn't hitting him with his belt?
Nah.
Oh, wait a second then. That changes our narrative a little bit. The dad's not beating him with the belt, he's dancing. The child is small. As he misses a step, what's happening to the young boy? He's hitting. Okay, so unfortunately that piece of evidence now has fallen away. Okay, so line 1, whiskey on his breath. Obviously everyone who drinks is a horrible alcoholic who beats children, correct?
No.
What?
No.
You're disagreeing with me, I don't like that. Everyone I know who drinks is an alcoholic who beats people.
That's depressing.
I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe there are some people that drink and don't beat people. Okay, interesting. And not everyone who drinks is an alcoholic. I'm not encouraging drinking, folks. I'm just simply saying, in the course of this narrative, just because it says the whiskey on your breath does not mean that this is causing the father to take out a baseball bat and beat people Negan style, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So the whiskey in your breath can make a small boy dizzy. What's that mean?
He's getting the vapor.
Okay. He's got so much alcohol in his breath that it's causing like the young boy like to feel a little tipsy based on, good job guys, tipsy based off of just the alcohol in his breath. So his dad has drank too much, correct? We can all agree on that, the first 2 lines. Does this automatically make the dad a horrible person?
No.
Okay. Once again, not advocating drinking, just saying like everyone who drinks is not a horrible, evil person. All right. Line 3, but I hung on like death, such waltzing was not easy. So this is a lot like that 16th line that says, still clinging to your shirt. What are the father and the son doing? Dancing. Okay. I don't know about you, but like, I don't usually dance with people who are physically attacking me. Okay? So I hang on like death. So is the boy trying to get away from the father?
No.
No, he's hanging on to him. Such waltzing was not easy. Self-explanatory. We, the father and the son, romped until the pan slid from the kitchen shelf. So they're literally dancing around so hard, what happens physically in the kitchen? Okay, how does that make mom? The pans are falling off in the kitchen. Mom's not happy. Next 2 lines say, my mother's countenance could not unfrown itself. Okay, what's countenance mean?
Face or facial.
Okay, countenance at the bottom says facial expression. So the mother's facial expression is happy, sad, angry.
Unfrowned.
Could not unfrown itself.
So she
Okay,
was
not happy. All right. Okay, 3rd stanza. The hand that held my wrist, so as they're dancing, they're holding hands, okay, was battered on one knuckle. This is from beating the child. Okay, they're going to give you another piece of evidence in the 4th stanza. At every step you missed, my right ear scraped a buckle. We already stated that this is the kid accidentally scraping up against the buckle. Okay, not the father hitting him with it. 4th stanza, you beat time on my head. The word beat has a negative connotation, right? You beat me. But it also has what connotation?
one, 'cause it-
So the father's just keeping the beat, teaching his son to dance. Okay, all of a sudden, folks, this goes from like horrible, evil, drunk dad beating a child with belt and punching him. So now all of a sudden, this is a father dancing with his son. Does your narrative change a little? Okay, the next line helps to even tell you what the father does for a living. With a palm caked hard by dirt. What's the father do for a living?
Some dirty work.
Okay, some dirty work. Good enough answer. Okay, so if you go back to line 10, was battered on one knuckle. His hands are cut up in dirt. What's he do for a living?
Something rough.
He does like construction or something like that, agricultural, something like that. His father works outside. Okay, so is dad just a deadbeat? No, dad actually works for a living. Dad does drink, so we don't quite know there's negative connotations with that as well. All right. The next two lines, then waltz me off to bed, still clinging to your shirt. So the dad waltzes him, dances right into the bedroom to take him off to bed. Okay. So what's happening in this poem?
they're dancing, like he doesn't want to go to sleep, but his dad is like trying to get him in a happy mood.
Okay. Okay, so this goes from being sad poem to like kind of a happy poem. I'm gonna make it sad again. Sorry. Okay. This moment is one that the author chose to write about. Okay? Is this talking about father at my graduation as I'm graduating from college? Is this talking about dad walking me down the aisle? Okay, this is a 7-year-old kid talking about the happiest moment that he remembers with his dad was dancing with him in the middle of the night when he was drunk. Okay, I know. So the sad moment comes here where if you're going to write about one particular moment in your life when you felt the happiest with your dad, and the best you can come up with is you guys dancing in the middle of the night while he's drunk, there's a problem there, right?
Yeah.
Okay? So this is not a horrific moment where dad's horrible, but the best moment you can come up with isn't like, we were in the backyard playing catch. Like, you helped me with my algebra. It's like, I remember when you were drunk and we danced and mom got really mad. Good time. Yeah. Good time, singular. Okay, not good time, plural. Okay. So we're gonna have other poems too that are gonna talk about people that aren't currently there. Like, if you're gonna write about the best moment in your life, you'd find something that was probably a little more politically correct, like something that was, we went to Adventureland, it was super cool. We rode on a ride together. Like this is, we danced and you were drunk, past tense. Okay. All right, that is a lyric poem. Did it talk about the author's feelings?
Yeah.
Yes, a whole bunch. Next, I asked my mother to sing. What's it look like?
It looks traditional, but not very, like,
It's fun.
it's working.
So we have 14 lines, which immediately tells us it's a what?
Sonnet.
Sonnet. Okay. What else do you see? Are all the lines the same length?
Not necessarily.
No. If you look at lines 7 and 8, those are way, way, way off, right? Okay. Do we have capitalization?
Yeah.
Not everything, but
Some, not all. Do we have some punctuation?
yeah.
Yep. Okay, when I was talking about capitalization, there can randomly be things that are capitalized that shouldn't be. Looking at here, the things that are capitalized are proper nouns at the beginning of sentences. So that part, traditional. Okay, when we start to do the syllables, folks, we're going to see that it starts off pretty much the same, and then it's going to break down really fast. Okay? Sometimes poets do this to go over their feelings that are happening in the poem. So things can start off seeming okay, and then they start to fall apart. Okay? And as they fall apart, the structure of the poem starts to fall apart. Okay. Do we have a rhyme scheme in the first stanza? Do any of those words rhyme together?
No.
Do any of those words in this next stanza rhyme with each other?
No.
So we have no rhyme scheme. Okay? Now we're going to listen for a beat. So as I read it, tell me if you hear the beat. She begins and my grandmother joins her. I tried to read that with the beat. Is there a beat? Okay. Mother and daughter sing like young girls. Kind of. If my father were alive, mic drop, he would play his accordion and sway like a boat. Okay, I don't feel a really good beat in there, right? Okay. So what's this first stanza about?
Dad's dead.
Okay, dad's dead. Okay, we already know what's going on because it says in the second line, what are they doing?
Singing.
Okay, who's singing?
Mother and daughter.
Mother and grandmother are singing. Okay. And what would dad have done had he been there? Playing his accordion. Is that accordion? That thingy?
Yeah, where it's like,
That thingy?
no, it's like,
How's it go?
It's that.
Okay. All right, next stanza. I've never been in Peking or the Summer Palace, nor stood on the great stone boat to watch the rain begin on Kianmin Lake, the picnickers running away in the grass. Okay, was no beat, no rhyme scheme. Okay, lots of proper nouns in there. Where is this located? China. Okay, yep, close. Okay. Third stanza. But I love to hear it sung, how the water lilies fill with rain until they overturn, spilling water into water, and then rock back and fill with more. Okay, what did that just create? What literary term? When it creates a picture.
Oh, personification.
What?
Imagery, okay? Creates a picture, it's called imagery, correct. All right, now we're gonna end. Both women have begun to cry, but neither stops her song. Okay, in a traditional sonnet, Shakespearean sonnet, that would have ended with a rhyming couplet. It doesn't end with a rhyming couplet. Okay, it would have a beat in a traditional sonnet. It doesn't. It would have a rhyme scheme in a traditional sonnet. It doesn't. Okay, so everything about this says it looks pretty traditional. The problem is it's missing a lot of its components. Okay? All right, and if you go through and do the lines, like it goes 10, 9, 10, 10, then it goes 13, 9, 12, 7. The rhyme scheme's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, all over the place. Okay, all right, what's the poem talking about? Okay, what are they singing about?
The water lilies.
Their home thing.
Bree,
Probably their home.
they're singing about home, meaning they are no longer where? They're no longer in China. They've had to leave for whatever reason. Okay? And then the imagery in that third stanza has some symbols too. Okay? Water symbolizes what? Water symbolizes what? Braxton's correct. Okay? Water symbolizes life. Okay? Here's why. There's a water cycle, just like there is a life cycle. Okay? Water comes down, water goes into some body of water, and water evaporates and goes somewhere else, correct? Like a life cycle. Good? Okay. This is talking about like the water lilies filling and then pouring back in. So the water lilies can represent what? Fills up, fills up, fills up. What?
People.
People doing what?
Overpopulating the place.
So you start empty, you fill, you fill, you fill, you fill, you fill, then you die.
Oh, so like it's,
Okay? And then the life cycle starts over with somebody else and they fill up and then they die. Okay? Kind of a stretch, but that's the symbolism going on in that third stanza. Okay. Does the child enjoy listening to the two sing? Correct. Okay, one more poem. Grape sherbet. Look at it, what do we see?
Besides
30 lines.
Okay, 30 lines long, but when we say long, I'm looking at overall word count. And overall word count here probably isn't much more than the one on the other page. What makes this look longer, like a longer poem? Smaller lines, okay. What parts of this look traditional, which parts of this look organic?
Structures.
Okay, I'm hearing good things. Structure's organic, meaning what?
The lines separate inside.
Okay. There's also a visual to this, folks, as we get into some concrete poetry. This almost looks like an ice cream scoop. Okay, starts off short, gets taller in the middle, and it gets smaller at the end. Okay, we have one really good example of a concrete poem that we'll read in our 2 more sets of poems. All right, is there a rhyme scheme? Fights kind of rhyme with light.
There's some rhyme in there, but not much.
Recipe rhymes with what?
Masterpiece.
Masterpiece. There's a vowel sound that they share. Gallop, mound, stone, dollop, later, ducking up. That's the same vowel sound, not a consonant rhyme. So what we have is no rhyme scheme. Do we have capitalization? Do we have punctuation? Okay. Ready? This is a nice happy poem with nothing sad about it.
That's a lie.
The day, memorial, after the grill, Dad appears with his masterpiece. Swirled snow, gelled light. We cheer. The recipe's a secret, and he fights, a smile. His cap turned up, so the bib resembles a duck. That morning we galloped through the grassed-over mounds and named each other stone for a lost milk tooth. Each dollop of sherbet later is a miracle, like salt on a melon that makes it sweeter. Everyone agrees it's wonderful. It's just how we imagined lavender would taste. The diabetic grandmother stares from the porch, a torch of pure refusal. We thought no one was lying there under our feet. We thought of it was a joke. I've been trying to remember the taste, but it doesn't exist. Now I see why you bothered, Father. Nice, happy, uplifting, at a picnic, right? Okay. What's the poem about? Flashback to specifically what day? Memorial Day. It's literally Memorial Day. They're outside cooking. Where are they at? Not quite a park. What?
Cemetery?
It's a graveyard. It's a cemetery. Line 10. That morning we galloped through the grassed-over mounds. Line 22. We thought no one was lying there under our feet. We thought it was a joke.
Oh, I didn't realize that's right.
Yeah. So this is a family having a celebration out in their backyard, which just happens to be a cemetery, and they're enjoying. What's Dad bring that everyone loves?
Ice cream.
Sherbet?
Ice. It's grape sherbet, because it says it right here, grape sherbet. Okay, does everyone like it? Okay, the ending of the poem, why can the narrator no longer remember what it tastes like?
Because it's been so long ago.
Long ago since what?
His dad died because he was the only one that made his.
Okay, so what he's saying is that it's been so long I don't remember the taste anymore, meaning that Dad's no longer around. So for whatever reason, Dad's gone. Also, when it makes the references to death and how we thought it was kind of funny, we didn't actually take it seriously. Okay, so it's definitely alluding to the fact that Dad's gone. Like, we took those moments for granted. We should have enjoyed those so much, but now that they're gone, like, they're gone. We can't enjoy them anymore. Dad's sherbet will never be anymore. He died with
You
him.
like to make people sound.
Or we're finding out there's a theme to poetry.
Sadness.
Okay, this is a what type of poem? Talks about feelings and emotions. A lyric poem. Okay, tomorrow you have homework. Answer the questions over the poems. You need to also prepare for your quiz tomorrow.